What's happening, guys? John Hendricks here for Blue Crew Media, coming at you with another episode of The Drive, presented by Royal Honda. Tough loss out here in London. There's no other way to put it, right? 28-25 loss for the Saints. They fall to 1-3 on the season. You look at this game, another winnable game. I thought defensively they looked pretty good overall. Got after Kirk Cousins a good bit, got the turnover. Look, when it counted most and you needed to stop, didn't work out for you. Obviously, you can talk a lot about some of the other things. The turnovers are huge, right? And it's become a real problem with this team. Andy Dalton fumbling in the 2-minute drill, that's 3 points. Deontay Hardy fumbling on a punt return, that's another 3 points. So 6 points off a turnover, so that's kind of the good news. But again, you can't expect to win football games when you lose the turnover battle. And that's something that the Saints have got to learn really quickly. Not only that, but the penalties. And of course, look, we know some of these penalties are hurtful, however you want to kind of slice that up. But the bottom line is this team somewhat shot themselves in the foot a good bit. Again, they rebounded. I thought offensive they looked much better. I think that the defense had some good moments. They really kept them in this game. Again, it looks better overall, but it's still not enough. And at 1-3, this figured to be kind of your easier part of the schedule. And now you're looking at a situation where you got Seattle at home next week, short turnaround now coming from London. The team is flying straight back home, looking to get in probably around 1 a.m. On Central Standard Time. So, look, it's just tough, right? Because you see this team, you know they have the talent. You've seen all this stuff at training camp. They worked out some things. Yes, they were down 4 key offensive players today. They didn't have Michael Thomas, didn't have Andres Pete, no Jameis Winston, no Alvin Kamara. That's a tough ask, but I thought Latavius Murray looked really good. Breath of fresh air, really, in the offense, and he provided a lot of good moments when they needed it the most. And so, look, it's tough to know. In the mood in the locker room, mood with Dennis Allen, they feel like they're close to turning this ship around. And again, you look at 1-3, it's like, dang, it sucks because you're kind of at the bottom of the barrel. You don't have a first round pick, but look, the team's mentality and their mindset is 17-game season. There's a lot of football to be played, and it's true. But they've got to eliminate some of this stuff that they've been doing if they want to win these football games. I think that's the biggest thing, and the most frustrating part is that you could have beat Carolina, you could have beat Tampa, you could have beat Minnesota today. And look, Will Lutz was really hard on himself. Look, that's a tough ask to make 260-plus yard field goals in a row. And look, a lot of players thought it was kind of going to go in. Even Latavius Murray talking after the game that, what happened with Justin Tucker in Detroit and such, and being on that side. But it just didn't bounce their way for the Saints today. And so they've got to learn. They've got to move on. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of work to be done. But, again, the mood in this team, what I can tell you is that nobody's feeling sorry for themselves. Nobody's getting down on each other. A lot of people still believe it's just they still have to go execute, and they just cannot do the things that they've been. We can't see more issues on offense with penalties and turnovers, and then the special teams falls apart because the defense has really carried them a lot through these first 4 games. And so there's a lot of football left. The Saints do have a lot to clean up. Try to get back in the win column against Seattle, but right after that, it's just really going to be a 1 week at a time type thing. And again, you've seen teams historically start really well, and then they kind of fall off the face of the planet. And then some teams don't start off well, like in New Orleans, and then they can put things together. But what's discouraging and what's troubling is the type of football that we've seen just 4 weeks into the season. And so the bye week's coming late. Chris Olave got dinged up during the game. He said he's okay. It's a bone bruise in his leg, left leg to be exact, and so he'll be okay for this one. Dennis Allen said Alvin Kamara's injury. Look, it's just something that they felt like, again, it's a 17-game season. They don't want to rush him out there, and obviously there's going to be more important usage for AK down the stretch and such. But, look, this team is a long way to go right now. I think this is a humble type of thing for them, is finding out about themselves. And again, it's a test because this locker room's not breaking or anything like that. They've got to get better at coaching. They've got to get better at special teams, all phases of the game, right? And so we'll see if they can turn it around. Seattle's an interesting team that they're going to have to face up against. And, it sets up things afterwards. But worrying about one game at a time, and we'll kind of just have to see how it goes. For Boot Crew Media, I'm John Hendricks. Thank you again for tuning into the drive. We'll have a fun, safe travel home and a long flight, but we'll be back at it on Wednesday for all the normal stuff from Airline Drive in Metairie. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.